I think of him all the time.
Yeah.
People say, your late husband. I said, don't call my husband late. He's not my late husband. He's my husband.
The love story of David Bowie and Iman captivated the world, but their most precious creation was their daughter, Alexandria Zara Jones. Now, 22 years after her birth, we explore how Lexi has grown into her own person, balancing the weight of her parents' legacy with her own artistic pursuits, David Bowie and Iman's love story. The beautiful, unexpected romance between David Bowie and Iman is almost cinematic. It began quite improbably with a chance encounter set in the context of their respective star careers. In 1990, Bowie was swimming in the success of his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and about to embark on the world tour that would cement his place in the top tier of music makers. Iman was a gold star in the wild world of modeling, a phenomenon made possible as much by her beauty as by the combination of her intelligence and business savvy. Yet even though they inhabited a world of non-stop lighting and camera flashes, the couple's connection, once unearthed, seemed remarkably low-key and private. These two icons first met through a shared friend, Teddy Antolin, who happened to be David Bowie's hairdresser. At the time, Bowie was still recovering from a very public breakup, and Antolin thought that he really ought to be with someone extra special, someone who could match his own brilliance and luminosity. At a party in Los Angeles, Antolin spotted Iman and immediately thought she was the perfect match for Bowie. Instead of making a proper introduction, Antolin staged a dinner party, putting the two in a room together and hoping that magic would happen. And it did. Bowie was drawn to Iman as if she were a magnet, and he was the thing that couldn't help but stick. Of course, she was beautiful, but there was something more, something that didn't even have to do with what's often called chemistry. From the moment David Bowie met Iman, he fell in love. Iman, however, was a little more reserved. She had been married before and understandably wasn't keen to jump headfirst into another relationship. Otherwise, dating a rock star and one as iconic as Bowie seemed a bit foolish and maybe even dangerous. The world of rock music doesn't exactly scream stable and safe, and Iman had a budding modeling career to think of too. But even with all that, Bowie didn't intend to take no for an answer. He asked her out for a cup of tea. A tea date. It isn't every day that you hear about a rock star asking his lady love for a spot of tea. But there's something about that line that really works. Alexandria Zara Jones, the early years. In 2000, David Bowie and Iman welcomed their daughter, Alexandria Zara Jones, into the world. The couple, already parents from previous relationships, were overjoyed at the arrival of their first child together. They chose the name Alexandria because Bowie had always liked the name Alexander, and when Iman suggested the feminine version, it felt perfect. Zara, meaning inner light or luminous in Arabic, was Iman's birth name before it was changed, adding a deeply personal touch to their daughter's name. From the start, Bowie and Iman were determined to give Lexi, as they affectionately called her, as normal a childhood as possible. Despite their status as global icons, they made conscious efforts to shield their daughter from the relentless glare of the media. They rarely spoke about her in interviews and were careful about her public appearances. The family settled into a comfortable routine in New York City where they could blend in more easily than in other celebrity hotspots. Bowie, known for his flamboyant stage personas, embraced the role of a hands-on dad with enthusiasm. He was present for Lexi's birth, even cutting the umbilical cord, and continued to be deeply involved in her upbringing. Iman once shared, "I think this has to be the happiest time in my life. My career is still going, my husband is happy. Alexandria has become the force around whom everyone has gathered, and my soul feels complete." This sentiment perfectly encapsulated the joy and fulfillment that Lexi brought to their lives. Growing up as the child of icons. Growing up as the child of two of the most recognizable faces in the world of music and fashion comes with its own unique set of challenges and privileges. For Alexandria Zara Jones, affectionately known as Lexi, this meant navigating a world where her parents' fame often threatened to overshadow her own identity. David Bowie and Iman were acutely aware of the potential pitfalls that came with their celebrity status. They made a conscious decision to raise Lexi away from the spotlight, prioritizing her privacy and normalcy over public attention. This meant carefully controlling her exposure to the media and public events, ensuring that her childhood wasn't defined by red carpets and paparazzi flashes. Their efforts to maintain a semblance of normalcy extended to their everyday life. The family's home in New York City became a sanctuary where they could just be themselves. Bowie and Iman took turns picking Lexi up from school, and Bowie would often stop for ice cream on the way home. Simple, everyday moments that were precious in their ordinariness. Despite their best efforts, it was impossible to completely shield Lexi from the extraordinary nature of her parents' lives. The influence of art and music was an integral part of her upbringing. Bowie's creative spirit and Iman's eye for beauty naturally seeped into Lexi's world, shaping her perspectives and interests from an early age. Education played a crucial role in grounding Lexi's experiences. She attended regular schools, mixing with peers who weren't necessarily from celebrity backgrounds. This exposure to different walks of life helped her develop a sense of self beyond her parents' fame. As Lexi grew older, the balancing act between her private life and her parents' public personas became more complex. There was an inevitable curiosity about Bowie's daughter from the media and public, but her parents remained steadfast in their protection of her privacy. The result of this upbringing was a young woman who, while undeniably influenced by her parents' extraordinary lives, was also very much her own person. Lexi developed interests and passions that were uniquely hers, separate from the worlds of rock music and high fashion that had defined her parents' careers. Lexi's artistic journey. As Lexi grew older, it became clear that she had inherited her parents' creative genes. From an early age, she showed a keen interest in art, developing a unique style that blended elements of her father's avant-garde sensibilities with her own modern aesthetic. Lexi's artistic journey began in earnest during her teenage years. She started sharing her artwork on social media, giving the public the first real glimpses into her creative world. Her pieces often featured bold colors and abstract figures, reflecting both her heritage and her own evolving artistic vision. In 2021, Lexi reflected on her passion for art, stating, "Art has been a rock in my life for as long as I can remember. I developed a deeper passion and knew that I wanted to create and share my pieces with the intent to inspire and push others to create their own." This statement not only highlighted her commitment to her craft, but also echoed the inspirational ethos that her father had embodied throughout his career. While comparisons to her father's artistic legacy were inevitable, Lexi has managed to carve out her own niche. Her art, while sometimes reminiscent of Bowie's more abstract works, stands on its own merit. She's explored various mediums, from painting to digital art, constantly pushing her boundaries and developing her skills. Interestingly, despite her mother's successful modeling career, Lexi chose to focus on visual arts rather than fashion. This decision was fully supported by Iman, who emphasized the importance of Lexi finding her own path. "Every agency, every designer called me to say if she wants to, we'd love for her to model for us. But I said no, she doesn't," Iman shared in a 2018 interview. Lexi's commitment to her art has grown over the years. She's not only continued to create and share her work, but has also started selling her pieces on various platforms. This move from hobby to potential career demonstrates her serious approach to her craft and her desire to establish herself as an artist in her own right, separate from her parents' fame. The loss of David Bowie. The death of David Bowie on January 10, 2016, sent shockwaves through the music world and left his family grappling with an immense loss. For Lexi, who was just 15 at the time, it meant losing not just an icon, but her father. Bowie had been battling liver cancer for 18 months, a struggle he largely kept private. His passing came as a surprise to many, including some of his closest friends and collaborators. This privacy extended to his family life, allowing Lexi to spend those precious final months with her father away from public scrutiny. In the aftermath of Bowie's death, Lexi found solace in her art. Her work took on new depths, often incorporating themes of loss, memory, and legacy. While she rarely spoke publicly about her father's passing, her art became a powerful medium for expressing her grief and honoring his memory. Iman, in her role as both grieving widow and mother, became a pillar of strength for Lexi. She spoke about the ongoing nature of their loss, saying, "I don't think it will ever be fine. It's always going to be there." This honest approach to grief likely provided a model for Lexi in processing her own emotions. The bond between Lexi and Iman strengthened in the wake of their shared loss. Iman has been vocal about her continued love for Bowie, often referring to him as her husband, not her late husband. This ongoing connection to Bowie's memory has undoubtedly influenced Lexi's own relationship with her father's legacy. As Lexi entered adulthood, she began to engage more publicly with her father's memory. On what would have been Bowie's 74th birthday, she shared a touching photo of herself as a baby with her father, captioning it simply, "Happy Birthday, Wags." These small, personal tributes offer glimpses into the enduring impact of Bowie on his daughter's life. Lexi's appearance and style. As Lexi Jones has grown into adulthood, her appearance has naturally drawn comparisons to both of her famous parents. At 22, she bears a striking resemblance to both David Bowie and Iman, a living testament to the union of two of the most recognizable faces in entertainment and fashion. From her mother, Lexi has inherited her statuesque height and elegant bone structure. Her eyes, wide-set and expressive, are reminiscent of Iman's captivating gaze. The curve of her smile echoes her mother's, lending her the same warmth and charm that made Iman a favorite of designers and photographers alike. But it's impossible to miss the echoes of Bowie in Lexi's features. The shape of her face, with its high cheekbones and defined jawline, is undeniably reminiscent of her father. There's a certain intensity to her gaze that calls to mind Bowie's piercing stare, famously accentuated by his heterochromia. Lexi's style, however, is entirely her own. She's developed a fashion sense that blends elements of her parents' iconic looks with contemporary trends. On her social media, she often sports a casual, artistic style. Think oversized sweaters paired with vintage jeans, or eclectic jewelry paired with simple tees. It's a look that speaks to her artistic nature while maintaining a down-to-earth vibe. When she does step out for more formal occasions, Lexi shows off a sophisticated style that nods to both her parents' fashion legacies. She's been spotted in sleek, tailored suits that recall her father's thin white Duke era, as well as flowing bohemian dresses that wouldn't look out of place in her mother's wardrobe. One of the most striking aspects of Lexi's appearance is her hair. She's experimented with various styles and colors over the years, from long, dark locks reminiscent of her mother's to shorter, edgier cuts that echo her father's various transformations. This willingness to play with her look and reinvent herself subtly mirrors Bowie's own chameleon-like approach to style. Despite the undeniable echoes of her parents in her appearance, Lexi carries herself with a confidence and ease that is entirely her own. She seems comfortable in her skin, neither trying to emulate nor distance herself from her parents' iconic images. Instead, she's crafted a look that honors her heritage while asserting her individuality. The public's reaction to Lexi's grown-up appearance has been one of fascination and admiration. Many have commented on the perfect blend of her parents' features, while others have praised her for carving out her own unique style. In Lexi, many see a living connection to Bowie's legacy, a bridge between the past and the future of music and style. Lexi's life today. At 22, Alexandria Zara Jones is carving out a life for herself that both honors her parents' legacy and asserts her own individuality. Her primary focus remains her art, which she continues to develop and share with a growing audience. Lexi's work, ranging from digital illustrations to paintings, often features bold colors and surrealistic elements, showcasing her unique artistic vision. While she maintains a relatively low profile, Lexi has become more comfortable sharing aspects of her life on social media. Her Instagram account offers glimpses into her world, snapshots of her artwork, casual selfies, and the occasional throwback photo of her famous parents. These posts provide a window into her life without compromising the privacy she clearly values. Balancing her artistic career with her desire for privacy is an ongoing process for Lexi. She sells her artwork online, engaging with fans and collectors, but rarely makes public appearances or gives interviews. This approach allows her to pursue her passion while maintaining control over her public image. In terms of relationships and social life, Lexi keeps things close to the chest. She's been spotted with friends in New York City, where she still resides, but details about her personal life remain largely private. This discretion is likely a result of growing up in the shadow of her parents' fame and understanding the value of personal boundaries. Looking to the future, Lexi seems poised to continue her artistic journey. She's expressed interest in exploring different mediums and potentially collaborating with other artists. While she hasn't publicly stated any specific career goals, her dedication to her craft suggests a long-term commitment to the art world. Despite the weight of her family name, Lexi appears determined to make her own way. She's neither fully embraced nor rejected the spotlight that comes with being Bowie and Iman's daughter. Instead, she's navigating a middle path, using her platform to showcase her art while maintaining a level of normalcy in her day-to-day life. As she moves further into adulthood, it's clear that Lexi is not content to simply be known as the daughter of icons. She's actively shaping her own identity, one brushstroke at a time. Iman's perspective. Iman's role in Lexi's life has evolved from protective mother shielding a child from the spotlight to proud supporter of a young artist finding her way. Throughout this journey, Iman has been a constant source of strength and guidance for her daughter. In interviews, Iman has consistently expressed her pride in Lexi's growth and development. She's praised her daughter's artistic talents and her determination to forge her own path. "She's her father's daughter," Iman once said, referring not just to Lexi's looks, but to her creative spirit and independent nature. Iman has been instrumental in protecting Lexi's privacy, a task that became even more crucial after Bowie's passing. She's been careful about what she shares publicly about Lexi, always respecting her daughter's right to privacy. This protective instinct is balanced with her desire to support Lexi's budding career as an artist. The supermodel has also been open about the challenges of raising Lexi without Bowie. She's spoken about the ongoing nature of their grief and how they support each other through difficult times. "You know, this was the life we had together. We knew him better than anybody else," Iman shared in a recent interview, highlighting the unique bond she and Lexi share. Iman's perspective on Lexi's artistic endeavors is one of unconditional support. She's encouraged Lexi to explore her talents without pressuring her to follow in either of her parents' footsteps. This approach has allowed Lexi to develop her own artistic voice without the burden of excessive expectations. As Lexi continues to grow and evolve, Iman remains a steadfast presence in her life. She continues to balance her role as a public figure with her commitment to being a supportive and protective mother, ensuring that Lexi has the space and support she needs to thrive. The Bowie legacy. The weight of the Bowie name is undeniably significant, carrying with it a legacy of artistic innovation, musical genius, and cultural impact. For Lexi, this legacy is both a blessing and a challenge as she navigates her own path in life. Her approach to her father's legacy has been one of quiet respect and personal interpretation. While she doesn't shy away from acknowledging her father's impact, she's also careful not to let it overshadow her own identity. Her art, while sometimes echoing themes or styles reminiscent of Bowie's work, is distinctly her own. Lexi's artistic pursuits can be seen as a continuation of the Bowie legacy of creativity and self-expression.